The sharp winds whipped through the streets of New York as Daniel pulled his thin jacket tighter around his shoulders. It was another long night at Tony's Diner, a small, nostalgic eatery where he worked as a waiter. The flickering neon sign cast an eerie glow, and the scent of freshly brewed coffee and sizzling bacon lingered in the air. Daniel had been on the job for 3 years, struggling to make ends meet. His mother's mounting hospital bills weighed heavily on him, and despite working back-to-back shifts, he barely scraped by. Yet, despite the challenges, Daniel's heart was filled with kindness. He never hesitated to offer a friendly smile, even when his feet were sore or he hadn't had a proper meal in days. He had learned from his mother that generosity wasn't about how much you had. It was about how much you were willing to share. That night, just before closing, the door to the diner creaked open. A woman stepped inside, wrapped in a worn, gray shawl. Her face was etched with exhaustion, and her hands trembled as she clutched the thin fabric. She hesitated in the doorway, uncertain whether she truly belonged. Most customers might have ignored her or even asked her to leave, but Daniel saw something deeper: pain, loneliness, and a silent plea for warmth. With a soft voice, he approached her. "Ma'am, would you like something warm to drink?" She hesitated, glancing down at her worn shoes. I don't have any money," she said quietly. Daniel didn't hesitate. "That's fine. A cup of coffee is on me." Surprise flickered in her tired eyes. "Thank you," she murmured. Without a second thought, Daniel quickly poured her a steaming cup of coffee. As he did, his mind wandered briefly to his own troubles. He barely had enough to get through the week, yet something about this woman made him want to help. He placed the coffee in front of her, then grabbed a plate of scrambled eggs, toast, and a small bowl of soup. "Here, eat up," he said with a warm smile. Her eyes filled with tears. "You don't have to do this," she whispered. "I know," Daniel replied simply, "but everyone deserves a little kindness." As the woman ate, Daniel continued his work, serving the remaining customers, cleaning tables. He noticed how she savored every bite, as though she hadn't had a proper meal in days. When she finished, she looked up at him with deep gratitude. "What's your name?" she asked softly. "Daniel," he replied. "You have a good heart, Daniel," she said. "Why are you working so late?" Daniel sighed and leaned against the counter. "My mom's in the hospital. Medical bills keep piling up. I'm doing everything I can to keep up, but it's a struggle. What about you? Do you have somewhere to stay?" She hesitated before shaking her head. "Not really, but I'll figure out." Daniel frowned, his desire to help growing. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the last $20 bill he had. "Here," he said, pressing it into her hand. "It's not much, but maybe it'll help you find somewhere warm to sleep tonight." The woman stared at him, stunned. "Daniel, you need this money more than I do." He shrugged. "I'll manage. You need it more." Tears welled in her eyes, and for a moment, she was speechless. Then she smiled softly. "You have no idea what this means to me." The following morning, Daniel arrived at the diner, exhausted but ready for another shift. As he tied his apron, a sleek black car pulled up outside. A chauffeur stepped out, opened the door, and to Daniel's shock, the woman from last night stepped out. But now, she was completely different. The tattered shawl was gone, replaced by a sharp, elegant coat. Her hair, once unkempt, was now perfectly styled, and she carried herself with the grace of someone powerful. Daniel's jaw nearly hit the floor. What's going on?" She smiled warmly. "Daniel, my name is Eleanor Carter. I'm the CEO of Carter Enterprises." Daniel's mind spun. Carter Enterprises was one of the largest corporations in the country. Eleanor continued, "Last night, I wasn't just looking for food. I was looking for something far more important. Kindness. I sometimes disguise myself to see how people treat those in need. And you, Daniel, passed the test with flying colors." Daniel's heart raced. "I was just doing what anyone should do." Eleanor shook her head. "No, not everyone would have done what you did. You gave me food when you barely had enough for yourself. You gave me money when you needed it more. That kind of kindness is rare." She reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. Inside, you'll find a check for $100,000. It's not charity. It's a reward for your heart. Daniel's breath caught. I can't accept this. You can, she said firmly. And you must use it for your mother, for your future. And if you ever need a job, there's a place for you at my company. Overwhelmed with emotion, Daniel felt tears welling in his eyes. He had spent years struggling, thinking the world was harsh and unforgiving. But today, kindness had come full circle, and his life was about to change forever. That night, Daniel went to the hospital and paid off his mother's bills in full. He secured a better home for them, ensuring she had everything she needed to recover. But more than that, he never stopped being kind. Months later, he joined Carter Enterprises, not just as an employee, but as someone who believed in the power of generosity. And every week, he returned to Tony's diner, not because he needed the job, but because he never wanted to forget where he came from. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness can lead to the greatest miracles. In a world where everyone is consumed by their own struggles, kindness is the one thing that can truly change lives.